All right, hello and welcome. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to dive into the beautiful Finnish language, but not with flashcards or, boring grammar drills. Nope. We're going to unlock the vocabulary that's hiding inside some of the world's most famous book titles. I mean, think about it. What if the stories you already know and love could be like a secret bridge to understanding a whole new language? Well, it turns out they absolutely can. These familiar titles, they hold the keys to unlocking some of the really core concepts of Finnish. So let's frame it this way. Consider this our own little library tour. We're going to walk through the stacks together, pull a few classics off the shelf, and you'll see how each title reveals another little piece of this amazing Finnish language puzzle.
And don't worry, we're going to start simple. I mean, the best way to learn anything, right? You build a solid foundation first. So we'll begin with some really direct, one-to-one word translations, using a title I bet you'll recognize. Okay, so our first book is the classic, Platero and I. Let's break it down. The Finnish word for that simple little connector, and, is ja. See? Nice and straightforward. One word down already.
All right, to complete the title, we just need the word for I, and in Finnish, that is minä. So, let's play it together. We have Platero ja minä.
And there you have it, Platero ja minä. You've literally just read and understood your first full phrase in Finnish. It really is that direct. But, and this is where it gets really cool, Finnish has a few wonderful tricks up its sleeve. All right, let's keep going and see how this builds, because here comes the plot twist of our little literary journey. Finnish grammar. Now, hold on, don't worry. This isn't about memorizing a bunch of complex rules. I want you to think of it more like we're uncovering a secret code, one that makes the language incredibly efficient and, honestly, really elegant.
So here's the key difference, the big idea. You know how in English we use separate little words like to, from, or for? Well, Finnish often does the exact same job just by changing the ending of a word. It's a totally different way of thinking about how sentences are built.
Let's see this in action. We'll use the title like water for chocolate. So the base word for chocolate is sukla. Now, to say for chocolate, you don't add a whole new word. Nope, you just change the ending to la. So sukla becomes suklale. Cool, right? And this one title illustrates the whole concept perfectly. Kuin vesi suklale. You can literally see how that ending does all the heavy lifting. And trust me, once you spot this pattern, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Okay, you ready for another one? Let's try the House of the Spirits. Now here, Finnish uses a different kind of ending, a different case to show possession, the idea of. The word for multiple spirits is hengit. To say of the spirits, that word changes its ending and becomes henkien.
So that gives us henkien talo, but wait, notice something else kind of interesting here? The word order is flipped from what we'd say in English. It's literally of the spirit's house. And that's another key feature of the language's structure. Those word endings are so powerful they define the relationships, so the order is more flexible. But Finnish isn't just creative with word endings. It's also famous for how it builds entirely new words, kind of like snapping Lego bricks together. It takes older, simpler words and combines them, and what you get is incredibly logical and often super descriptive. Okay, let's use the scarlet letter as our example. So how would you even say scarlet in Finnish? Well, it's pretty clever. You take the word for fire, which is tuli, and you take the word for red, punainen, and you just smush them together. You get tuli punanien, which literally means fire red. How poetic is that?
And the result is the full title, Tuli polainen kirjan. Isn't that just elegant? Instead of having a totally separate word for scarlet, Finnish builds a more vivid, more descriptive idea right into the word itself. It's such a beautiful and efficient feature of the language.
Okay, so you've seen the fundamentals, right? We've got simple vocabulary, those powerful case endings, and those super clever compound words. So, how about a quick, fun recap to lock in everything we've covered? A little final exam. You ready? All right, let's start with an easy one from like water for chocolate. Do you remember the Finnish word for water?
Yes, it's vesi. Excellent.
Okay, next up, from the House of the Spirits. What was the word for house?
You got it. Tallow. Perfect. Okay, now for the real concept check. This is the big one. How does Finnish say for chocolate? Do you add a new word in front of it? Exactly. No, you don't. You change the ending of the word itself.
Sukla becomes suklale. That is the secret of Finnish cases, and you have absolutely nailed it.
So there you have it. We've just seen that a simple book title can be a little window into the structure, the logic, and the real beauty of a whole language. And that just leaves us with one final thought. If this is what we can learn from just a handful of titles, what kind of linguistic secrets do you think are hiding on your own bookshelf right now? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.